The wind howled through the near-empty train station, rattling the old tin roof. Snow swirled across the deserted platform, clinging to the rails and painting everything in a ghostly white. Jack Callahan stepped off the last train of the night, his boots crunching against the ice. He adjusted his worn Stetson hat and glanced around. The place was dead silent, just the way he liked it. Until he heard the faint sound of someone crying. He turned, scanning the shadows, and saw her. A young woman sat on a bench, shivering so hard her teeth chattered. Her thin jacket was soaked through with melting snow, and her hair stuck to her face in frozen strands. She clutched a small duffel bag to her chest as if it were the only thing she owned. Jack walked over, his heavy boots echoing against the platform. "Ma'am, you're gonna freeze to death out here," he said in his low, steady drawl. The woman looked up, startled. Her lips were pale, her eyes red from crying, but there was something strong in her gaze despite her condition. "I missed my connection," she whispered. "Next train isn't until morning." "You won't make it till morning sittin' out here," Jack said. He took off his coat and draped it over her shoulders before she could protest. I can't go anywhere," she said softly. "I don't know anyone here." "Well," Jack said, offering a hand, "you know me now. Name's Jack Callahan. Let's get you someplace warm." Jack took her to his truck parked outside. The heater blasted warm air, and soon some of the color returned to her cheeks. "My name's Claire," she said quietly. "I'm a nurse." Jack nodded. "Where you headed?" She hesitated. "Anywhere but back there." Jack didn't push. Whatever had driven her out here in the middle of a snowstorm was her story to tell when she was ready. He drove her to his ranch, a sprawling but cozy place just outside town. His housekeeper, a kindly older woman named May, made Claire hot soup and got her into dry clothes. By the time she sat by the fire, Claire was finally warm enough to stop shaking. As the weeks passed, Claire started helping around the ranch. She tended to the animals, cooked with May, and even patched up one of Jack's ranch hands when he injured his arm. Jack found himself drawn to her. She wasn't just beautiful, she was tough, compassionate, and unafraid to speak her mind. But Jack had his own scars. Years ago, he'd lost someone he loved because he chose his business over her. He had vowed never to open his heart again. One snowy evening, as they sat by the fire, Claire caught him staring. "What?" she asked with a small smile. Jack looked away. "You make this place feel less empty." Claire's heart skipped. "You saved me, Jack. I don't think I'll ever forget that." Just as things began to feel right, the past caught up with them. A newspaper picked up Claire's story, painting her as a troublemaker who had abandoned her patients. Soon reporters were showing up at the ranch, and investors started questioning Jack's judgment for letting her stay. "You're risking everything for her," one of his business partners warned. Jack didn't care. But Claire did. "I should leave," she told Jack one night, tears in her eyes. "I don't want to ruin everything you've built." Jack stepped closer, his voice firm. "You're not running this time. Not from them, not from me." Then came the blizzard. The power went out across the ranch, and one of the pregnant Maras went into labor early. Claire and Jack worked through the night in the freezing barn, taking turns warming the newborn foal by the fire and keeping the mother alive. By morning, the blizzard had passed, and so had the worst of their fears. Jack and Claire sat side by side, exhausted but smiling as the foal nuzzled against its mother. "That little one wouldn't be here if not for you," Jack said softly. Claire looked at him, realizing she hadn't just found shelter here, she had found something like home. Claire decided to fight back. With Jack's resources and connections, she gathered evidence against the corrupt hospital staff and took her case public. The truth came out. Claire was vindicated, and the hospital administration was forced to step down. When reporters returned to the ranch, it wasn't to scandalize her, it was to tell the story of the nurse who refused to stay silent and the cowboy who stood by her side. Months later, the ranch hosted a small wedding under the open sky, with wildflowers in bloom and the mountains standing guard in the distance. As Claire walked down the aisle, Jack couldn't stop smiling. He had found love again, not in the boardroom or in the deals he made, but here, in the woman who had stumbled into his life on a freezing night. When he kissed her, the ranch hands cheered, May cried, and the world finally understood why their love story had captivated millions. Their story spread far beyond the ranch, not because Jack was a millionaire or because Claire was a nurse, but because two people from completely different worlds had chosen to fight for each other. It reminded everyone that love often finds us when we least expect it, and sometimes, the person you save ends up saving you too.